Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Bayou Sugar Garden. I am Bayou Sugar, and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome in. If not, welcome back. I would like to ask all of you, ask all of you guys to make sure that you are hitting that like button. Go ahead and share out the live because we are going to cover some interesting topics today, a bunch of different interesting topics today. And I'm pretty sure you guys, there's a lot of people that will be interested in what we will be talking about today. You you need to know, and your family needs to know what we are talking about today. So go ahead and share the live out before we get started. I would like to say that we are currently live on uh, TikTok, YouTube, as well as Facebook. So let me just get a minute to check everything, make sure everything is on the up and up. Everything is looking good. I appreciate you guys for joining me today, and I hope you are having a amazing Saturday. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. My mic all the way down there. So y'all probably was hearing me muffled. Okay, so again, welcome in. Make sure you hit that like button, share me out if you're on the TikTok side. Make sure you hit that daily heart me at the top. And before we get started, y'all who are used to me know that I like to speak to those who are here live in the chat with me. Hold on, I got a echo somewhere that I don't want to hear. I'm hearing myself. I don't need to hear myself. Um, all right, okay. Again, happy Saturday. Make sure you are sharing the live out, grabbing your daily heart me, and welcome in everyone on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. All right, so one time we got Jamia. Welcome in, Jamia. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. One time for Jamia. Let's see. Checking anybody else on the Facebook side. And let's see who we got. Welcome in Chauncey. I think I'm saying your name right. On the TikTok side. Welcome in. The Real Jones One DJ. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. One time for you. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you grab your daily heart me over there on the TikTok side. Hey, Miss Linda, welcome in over there on Facebook. One time for Miss Linda. I call her Momo. Welcome in. What's up, Rob in the garden? I see you. I see you. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. For those of you who are in the bushes, one time for you. I appreciate y'all. If you are catching the replay, one time for you. I appreciate you as well. I might have to put my Facebook up in front of me so I can see the comments as they coming through. Let me turn it down. All right, all right. All right. So if you are catching the replay, please make sure to leave me a comment so that I can know that you have been here. I do respond to my comments. Um, for those of you who have been through this series with me before, we every now and then do a series of talks called Do You Really Know What You're Eating? And this episode is just a continuation of that. Some information that I came across that I wanted to share with you guys today. And it's a lot of information, a lot of eye opening, a lot of catch my pearls or grab my pearls or gasping that's probably going to be going on. But it's some good information, things that you need to know that you probably hadn't known or that you probably didn't even think about, because we are programmed or so used to trusting other people with being honest with us about the food that they are providing for us to purchase to sustain our life. And the more that you continue to live in this current state that the world is in, we're learning more and more that we have been deceived for so long. And now is the time for you to learn better so you can do better, right? So, came across a couple of videos that I wanted to share with you guys and just discuss with you about, my thoughts. And always remember, this is an open-ended conversation. If you have any questions or concerns, please type them in the chat and we could talk about it, right? So let's get this show on the road. Hey, Drell. She says, hi, everyone. Bayou in chat. Great to see you. Great topic, Bayou. Thank you so much, Drell, over there on the Tickety Talk. One time for Drell. Light. Welcome in the awesome dudes on TikTok. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. So, and I am so glad that Drell came in because that reminds me of her story. For those of you who are not familiar with her, I'm not going to tell it. You would have to go to her channel and watch her videos and find out her health journey that she goes through and the things that she has going on in her life in relation to her health and the things that she has to eat in order to maintain her health. Not only that, but it's more detail to it. You have to go to her channel and find out all of the things about Drell and her life and how she lives it with uh, the things that she has going on. It's a very, very informative uh, channel where she talks about her health struggles. And for those of you who may struggle with diseases as well, as far as MS, rheumatoid arthritis, different various diseases. You can learn a few things from her. So make sure you go ahead and check her out. All right, y'all. Whew, excuse me. We're going to go ahead and get this show on the road. I am going to go ahead and load this first video so that you guys can see.
I'm going to prescribe you a statin.
In the middle of an industrial park in a suburb west of Chicago.
You have high cholesterol. I'm going to prescribe you a statin to lower it.
Okay, that's not the first one. Where's the first one? Okay, here it goes. Okay, these videos you can find on TikTok, not TikTok, I'm sorry. You can find them on Instagram. And I have came across these videos on Instagram. And so I want to share them with y'all today. You'll be able to see the name of the Instagram page that I'm getting these videos from. So make sure you go over there. And it's a bunch of videos, a bunch of eye-opening things that this particular channel has. Hey girl, hey, over there on the TikTok, Amber. Welcome in, Amber, one time for my girl Amber over there on TikTok. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank y'all. Thank you for the gifts and thank you for y'all for liking the live. Drell say, "Oh, thank you, Bayou. I truly appreciate you. Sis. You know it's all love. You know I love you. I love me some Drell." Okay, guys, let's see. Let's see. So this video is gonna kick it off. Let me just warn you right now. Uh, get yourself together, cause yeah, it's gonna throw you for a loop. But we need to know. We need to know. So here we go. Here we go.
The perfect crime never looks like one. But every crime scene leaves a trail. Seed oils broke into the food system the same way. Quiet, subtle. They slipped in through the industry until they were everywhere. If you follow the evidence, you'll see exactly how they pulled it off. Tonight's the night.
Now, cottonseed, as you may know, is actually a former waste product. It used to actually kill the wild hogs outside of the cotton mills in the South.
Cottonseed oil came in to fill that need, and they called it Crisco.
Best cooks use Crisco. You should too.
Wouldn't use anything else.
It's nice to know you can trust Crisco oil to fry chicken that doesn't taste greasy.
The first seed oil, toxic refuse, scraped off machines, then dressed up as food. This is no coincidence.
And even with extra sauce, it's still kind of like dry and meh.
Do you need any other tips, Candy? I've ranch over here, extra.
They didn't.
Okay, this video goes pretty fast, but I want to make sure that you guys are paying attention and connecting the dots and following. Welcome in the Bud Files. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you one time for the Bud Files. So in this video so far, it is telling you that how toxic these oils are that we're cooking our food in. Welcome in, Sylvia Yard. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you one time for Sylvia Yard's Garden Adventures. So these seed oils were created initially for machineries. And what happened, like with most things, it got rebranded. And with the rebranding, they rebranded it and marketed it to us as food. It was not initially created as food, but because when they, for whatever reason they created it for, they had no more use for it. So they were not making any more money off of what it was initially created for. So in return, instead of them doing away with the product, they just rebranded it and marketed it to human beings as food. And so if you look on your screen right now, I wonder if I could make this a little bit bigger. Let's see. If you look on your screen right now in the video, in the search engine, what he was typing in, he was showing you who all was in cahoots, for lack of a better word, on this plan to rebrand this oil that was made from companies that came up on the search was uh, Procter Procter and Gamble. Now, all of us know that Procter and Gamble has their hands in a lot of things, from food to medicine, and now you see they are one of the donors of the American Heart Association. And if you guys are aware of anything that has to do with medicine, the American Heart Association is the one that comes up with recommended diets, especially one for for cardiac patients, right? They come up with this diet and telling you what you need to eat. But if you do your research, you'll find out that those foods that they have on there is not really heart healthy foods, but they are foods that they recommend that you eat are from manufacturers who have donated to their company. So it's this circle, like I'm pushing customers to you, you push customers to me. So in actuality, that is what they're doing. Okay? So keep following, let's keep going.
Just sell the grease, they bought the science. And overnight, Crisco went from toxic waste to heart healthy.
Saturated fats, however, can increase your risk of heart disease and stroke.
All of the societies, all of the health officials, and are basically saying do not change what you're doing right now. You should continue to limit red and processed meat. Okay.
The giants behind the curtain, they fed the world their poison long enough, and now I see them.
Okay, guys, so he showed y'all a full laundry list of different companies who paid to have these things marketed as food and healthy foods that we need to eat. Companies like Cargill, ADM, Bunge, different companies that you probably recognize on some of the products that you buy, right? Well, you see it today on this video that they are donors to companies, health companies that recommend these foods. And I'm air quoting foods that recommend these foods to you guys as healthy foods, when in actuality, that's not what they were created for, and that's not what they are. They're just trying to sell a product. And these things cause diseases in humans. Welcome in, Dunzel. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. One time for Dunzel Cooper. Look, Sylvia said he said it. It's an organized crime, and it definitely is. It's definitely a crime and very well organized. It's a loop system. It's a full circle system of marketing where they push customers to you, to them, to each other, and it just goes around in a circle. And we are caught in the middle of it. Okay, I have another video that I want to show you guys. So that's with your oil. So if you buy oil from the store, I would recommend that you don't eat it. What is an alternative? I'm glad you asked. Grow your own. Make your own oil. Or don't fry it. You can always bake. Technology, well, you got to be careful now. I was going to say technology is so good now to where you can air fry, but you got to be careful with that because of the effects that it will do to your body with the electromagnetic waves. You got to be careful with that. All right, so the next thing I have, okay, that was that one. Did I miss somebody? Let me see. Nope. Oh, I gotta decrease my size because I can't see my full menu.
What's going on, y'all? Day 59!
All right, let me load this next video up for y'all. I think this particular one is about medications for people with high cholesterol and how they're marketing that. So let's see what that says. Oh no, wrong one. My bad, y'all.
The perfect crime never looks like one, but every crime scene leaves a trail.
Wrong one. This one.
You have high cholesterol? I'm going to prescribe you a statin to lower it.
But I eat healthy. That's impossible.
Yeah, you should cut the meat and eggs from your diet for now.
Am I gonna die?
You know the chief killer of Americans is cardiovascular disease.
His idea was that you would eat saturated fat and cholesterol in your diet. This would lead to your having elevated cholesterol in your blood. This would clog your arteries like hot oil down a cold stovepipe and would give you a heart attack.
Do you realize the lower the cholesterol in your body, the lower your chance of heart disease?
Watching cholesterol? You'll love Hellman's Cholesterol Free.
Cheerios is the only leading cold cereal proven to lower cholesterol.
You have high cholesterol?
Okay, so that video, it was going pretty fast. But just like Sylvia said earlier, it is an organized crime, right? So in this video, if you guys can see, the guy went to the doctor and the doctor told him that he had high cholesterol. Okay, well, he's showing you that the development or whoever came up with the idea that having a high cholesterol number was developed around the 1970s, around the same time where obesity and heart disease started to increase in Americans, right? And so he's showing you how to connect the dots between how they were trying to sell these statin or market these statin drugs to people. How are we going to get them to take these drugs or these chemicals that we originally created for something else, but now how are we going to make money off of them if what we originally created them for, there's no longer a use for it? So they came up with the idea of saying that cholesterol, um, having a high cholesterol, uh, would be the way that they would connect this and use this to push these drugs. I have another video that explains to you, let's see, more in depth, in detail, how they came up with it and how the statin drugs um, really do not lower your cholesterol, and how the numbers that they came up with are just made up numbers. It's nothing that was developed based off of tests. They didn't have like a, a, a group of case studies that they studied to develop evidence to prove that this was right. Right? They just allowed this person or company or entity to come up with the idea, and he's basically marketed it to the powers that be, and they accepted it. Right? So if you go to the doctor and they're telling you something about you having high cholesterol, and they telling you to avoid certain foods and things like that, you might want to second guess it. I was one of the people that was diagnosed with high cholesterol. And according to them, their number, I can't even remember. I can't even remember what my number was, but it wasn't that high. Maybe like 10 to 20 numbers above what normal is supposed to be. And so I was put on a low dose of a cholesterol medicine. What is it? Atorvastatin, or some of you may know it as Lipitor. And so I took it, and I was supposed to go back to the doctor in 3 to 6 months to see if it was working. 3 to 6 months, I went back. It was lowered, but at the same time of me taking that medication, I was avoiding certain foods. So after about a year, I went back to the doctor and I got my blood work done and realized in my lab work is showing that my cholesterol was low. So I stopped taking the medication. But my doctor didn't take me off the medication. They just realized, okay, well, your cholesterol is low. We're going to keep you on this medication to keep your cholesterol level low. But I'm like, if I keep taking it, it's going to make it too low, right? But he never took me off of it. I took myself off of it. Let me find that video to show you guys that explains to you. Oh, thank you guys for the gift. Let's see. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gift over there on the tickety tock. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let me share this video with y'all. I mean, I was going through this information. I was like jumping from one social media to the next. So I believe it is here on
Hey everybody, I had to stop my breakfast to share this video with you. This is proof that not all doctors are bad. This is Dr. Anna Toker. I want you to listen to what she's saying, share what she's saying, and just a quick side note. My mother, who's 90, her medical doctor, who's not the swiftest, put my mother on metformin. My mother's not even a type 2 diabetic. My mother took the metformin, and then I found out.
Oh, no, not that one. Hold on, y'all.
Can you give me an example of a food that's a vaccine?
Oh, wait, that's a different video. We're going to get to that too. Give me 1 second, y'all. Hey, Crooked Peach, how you doing? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. One time for Crooked Peach. How you been doing, Peachy Peach? Let me see. Let me get this video. Let me play a little music for y'all while I get this video all loaded up for y'all. 1 second.
So tell me, baby, where would you like to go? Maybe we'll drive from coast to coast, only to where we love the most. I'm taking you to paradise, paradise. You know where we're going tonight, going tonight. Paradise, paradise. I'm taking you to paradise, paradise. I don't even care about the price, yeah. Paradise, paradise. I'm taking you. Let's see the sun and have some fun. I'm so tired of living life in gray, babe. And you deserve to see the world. So tell me, baby, where would you like to go? Maybe we'll drive from coast to coast, only to where we love the most. I'm taking you to paradise, paradise. You know where we're going tonight, going tonight. Paradise, paradise. I'm taking you to paradise, paradise. I don't even care about the price, yeah. Paradise, paradise. I'm taking you. Come and take a seat next to me, babe. Let this pretty view take your breath away. Baby, we deserve a break from our old ways. Anywhere's home when you're with me. Come and take a seat next to me.
Okay, I cannot find that video. I'll find it at some point. But we're gonna move on to the next subject. When I get it, I'll come back. I'll come back to it. She said, "Girl, I've been doing good except this weekend. I've been to the hospital once. I had an ambulance at my house." Oh, well, good to hear the good news. Glad you are good and doing well. Welcome in, J3GS Farms, honey man. Welcome in one time for J3. Said juice and watermelons. Can't respond. Well, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you. Thank you, Peach, for the super chat. I appreciate you one time. Bye. Peach. Keep sharing that. Girl, you know I will. From the mountaintops, I am going to shout it from the mountaintops. All right, y'all. So at some point, I'm pretty sure I'm going to come across that video and we'll talk about it. But let's see the next video that I came across to share with y'all. I'm pretty sure y'all probably seen this already in a movie. But let's see what they're saying.
The question again, and then you can pop in.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned actively spreading AIDS.
There was a unit in from SIMA that one of the things was that we went into African countries.
And how was that done exactly?
Through inoculation.
Through vaccines?
Yeah, through vaccines. Pretending to inoculate people and that type of thing.
The idea being to kill black people?
Yeah, to eradicate black people. You must understand the concept was that AIDS was a killer. It was incurable at that point in time. So it was led to believe that if you infected people, it was the quick, non-militaristic approach to eliminate black people.
And that is something you know for a fact, that AIDS was actively being spread to other countries?
Yes, to African countries.
Before we continue with Alexander Jones, I should tell you about the case. The question again, and then you can pop in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's just an example of, what they do with things that, with vaccines, how they false advertise them. They false advertise them and tell you they're one thing and they end up being something else. So, I mean, we got to be careful because you just never know what you're getting.
Hey everybody, I had to stop my breakfast to share this video with you. This is proof that not all doctors are bad. This is Dr. Anna Toker. I want you to listen to what she's saying, share what she's saying, and just a quick side note, my mother who's 90, her medical doctor who's not the swiftest, put my mother on metformin. My mother's not even a type 2 diabetic. My mother took the metformin, and then I found out I got my mother off the metformin. I gave my mother berberine. Her pharmacist called me and said to me, "Why is your mother off the metformin?" And I said, I'm her naturopath. I'm giving my mother berberine. And he said to me, "Good choice. Berberine is wonderful to lower blood sugar." So listen to this video, share this video. This is amazing. Thank you, Dr. Anna Toker, for saying this.
Medicine doesn't cure anything, to be honest with you. It's designed to offset something that's chemically imbalanced in your body. And because that chemical reaction doesn't happen in a vacuum, there's always a side effect. And every medicine that is on the market is a chemical mimicry of an herbal supplement, right? So you can't make money off of nature. You can only make money off of something you can patent. You cannot patent nature. And so berberine is a great example. It's awesome for blood sugar. And so they just alter that molecule and call it metformin. And the next thing you know, they make bazillions of dollars with metformin. So it's not hocus pocus to use herbals as a first line of defense in a medical illness, but that is still using chemistry, which means you can overshoot. The person can have an allergic response to it or an over response that is unintended, and that's just the nature of chemistry.
Hey everybody, I had to stop my breakfast.
Okay, for those of you who are connected to me on YouTube and some of us who are already in our YouTube community, my Renaissance Grandma was one of the YouTubers in our community over here on YouTube that told us about berberine. She actually sells berberine soap. I actually have a bar. We learned about this because another member in our community is also struggling with getting her health together. You guys may know her by Tampa's Creek Homestead and more. And my Renaissance Grandma suggested that she try berberine for it. And so we have found that to be true, that berberine is very effective in not just blood sugars, but many different things. And like, just to echo what this naturopathic doctor naturopathic doctor Jennifer, I can't even say her last name, but you guys can see it on the screen, is medications that they are made to mimic something in nature. And because they cannot patent nature, they make something to mimic it so that they can make money off of it, right? And so it's essentially that's what they're doing, just basically trying to figure out how to make money. Peace says, I'll never get another vaccine. Haven't had one in 9 years. And look how fine you are doing without it. Yes, they false advertise everything. Food isn't food, right? Medicine makes people even more sick. Yep, the whole system is a setup, and it's not the doctor's fault. They don't know any different, right? They don't know. Because half of them just go to school, and it's more than half. Healthcare workers, healthcare professionals go to school and they are taught this information. They believe, just like the general public, that what they're being taught is the truth. Some of them are fortunate enough to have their eyes open, others don't. I used to believe you can medicate your way to health. Now I know better, and I am so glad that we know better. 'Cause when you know better, you do better, right? All right, guys, let's see. Did I miss anybody? All right, let's move on to the next video.
But have you seen how now, like, big food companies, for lack of a better term, fast food companies, and then chips and snacks and all of that, have you seen that they're working on GLP-1 blockers in their food?
So they will basically become Ozempic resistant.
They are trying to make food now
That's scary.
that can resist Ozempic and Mounjaro and all of these drugs. Because the people who take this aren't eating junk food and aren't becoming overweight and aren't getting sick and are becoming more fertile and are becoming like, they gamble less, they buy less, they smoke less, they drink less, they shop less, they do everything less of the unhealthy. And because of that, they're actually going to make food that is going to block the block so that they can get you back into that. Sorry, that's that's like,
I wonder what that's going to do to people who really weren't in this at all. Like, if you if you just like regular Doritos and you aren't going anywhere near Ozempic, are you going to be like, look, I'll do anything for that?
You might be
like, are you going to lose your mind?
You
or
might be
are you
crack
not
hungry,
gonna
actually.
Feel it.
Yeah, that's
No, you actually might be
You know what I
crack
mean?
hungry because GLP-1 is produced naturally, as I understand it, right? So
Yeah.
it's something that your gut is supposed to produce when you are full. Most food hacks that feeling, but if you have a healthy gut, your stomach tells you, okay,
Yeah.
you're full. So now, to your point, if it blocks that, yeah, we might get. But have you seen how now, like? But have you seen
So y'all, I gotta tell you, okay, I am a recipient of Ozempic. I used to be on it for about 2 years. I've been off of it going on 2 years. And it worked for me. I used Ozempic as a way, it was my tool to jumpstart my lifestyle change that I'm currently in now, because I was one who I tried everything, the diet, the different diets and exercise to get myself healthy, because according to the blood work at the doctor's office, I was for years pre-diabetic, right? And then they kept giving me the diets. You know, when they tell you you're pre-diabetic, they need, some doctor's office give you a list of foods that you can eat and foods that you can't eat. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest and upfront with y'all. At first, I ain't paid no attention to them. I ate what I wanted to eat, and then as I got older, I started, worrying about, I didn't want to be a diabetic, because I started looking at the people in my family that had the disease and how it affected them. And as I got older and started having children, then I'm like, I want to be here for my kids. I need to change my lifestyle and, try to get healthy. By that time, according to blood work, I was full blown diabetic and I needed to do something about it. Tried all the different diets and exercise and started buying the low sugar, zero sugar, no sugar foods instead of regular things. Tried to limit my carb intakes and all the none of that worked for me. The only thing that worked for me is when I started taking the Ozempic. With the Ozempic, I can't speak for other people because you hear good and bad things, but for me, what I found when I was on the Ozempic, when I followed the rules, it worked for me. I know a lot of people that will take it and then they will stop taking it because they wanted to eat and then get back on it, and that kind of like, it defeats the purpose. I would suggest, if you're gonna be on it, and then if you're gonna be off it, just be off it, because if you flip flop and jumping back and forth, it's not gonna be effective for you. So I was on it consistently for 2 years. I started off at almost 300 pounds. I ain't gonna tell you exactly how much because that ain't your business. And now my goal is to get to 200 or even 180, 200. Right now I'm 220. So I don't have too much more to go. So what it did for me was it stopped with my sugar cravings in the beginning, and then it decreased my appetite. Once my appetite started decreasing, I wouldn't say that I had sugar cravings. I just wanted to eat sweets. Like I didn't. It wasn't like I just was like, "Ooh, I got a taste for something." No, it was just a lack of self-control for me. I saw something and I wanted it and I ate it. It's not like I had a desire to eat. I just wanted it. But the good thing about that is, even though times when I wanted it, I couldn't eat as much of it, and it decreased my intake drastically. Like if I would, were when I was on Ozempic and I was to buy some Little Debbie snack cakes or whatever. Well, let's say my favorite snack cake was the Swiss rolls, and y'all know them come two in a pack. If you don't know, I'm telling you, it come two in a pack. I used to could eat about 3 of those in one sitting. I'm just gonna say 3. It might have been more than that, but I'm just gonna say 3. So it's 3, and that's 2 in a pack. So that's like 6 of them, right? So when I got on Ozempic, I probably would take one bite of it. And I think because of the sugar, um, I will automatically start feeling like nauseous. My body just the desire to eat it. I just lost the desire to eat it. I just didn't want it anymore. And I wanted to eat it because I in my brain I'm looking at them like I want to eat it, but my body was like, no, we don't want it. So I ended up wasting a lot of food because I would go in the store trying to be rebellious and buy things with my old way of thinking, but my body would not allow me to do that. So I use Ozempic, like I said, as a way to get myself back in alignment, being able to pay attention to my body, and it worked for me. I didn't have all of this projectile vomiting, diarrhea, and all of that. I did notice that in the beginning when I first started Ozempic, if I tried to override my fullness, then I would have a sickness. But if you allow it to work, it worked for me. And at this point, I know a lot of people that it worked for. So I think that because it's working a lot with the Ozempic and the Mounjaro, it's causing these big companies to lose money. And there's a lot of people that it's working for. And if they losing money, they got to come up with another way of not to lose money, right? So they coming up with foods that will block it, which is crazy because I'm saddened because somebody like me, I have finally found something to help jumpstart me to becoming a better, healthier me. And now they are going to crush the dreams of that for so many people, just like people who are diabetic and are trying to eat right, going into the stores, they're actually buying these food products that are saying they don't contain sugar when in actuality they do. Like they're setting you up for failure. Peach say, what the in the food. Oh my God. We all need to start doing everything our damn self. We just got to stop this entire system is a wreck. It is. It is. She said, our stories are very similar. It is. That was not a lack of self-control. That was the intended outcome of sweets. They retrain your brain. Right. You right about that. You right about that. There are receptors in that makes you come back and want more. So yeah, I definitely went through that struggle to where I was in the stove. Thank y'all for the gifts. Thank you. Thank you. I was in the store wanting to buy it, wanted to get it, but I would get it and then I couldn't eat it because of the Ozempic would not allow me to eat it. So let's see. And now we find out that because it is working and it's costing them so to lose money, um, they're trying to recoup that money or stop themselves from not losing any money. All right, let's continue down, down, down and learn some more. And for some of you who may be saying, oh, this ain't true, this is just somebody that's a conspiracy theories, let me tell you, I have personally experienced this stuff. I am a healthcare professional and I have seen this. And let me just say that this information that I'm providing to you is for educational purposes. You need to consult your doctor or your healthcare provider before you make any changes to your diet or lifestyle or medication, okay? So I'm just trying to provide you with this information for educational and entertainment purposes only. Peach said it's so hard for people to understand what is good for us and what's not good for us because it's like a gigantic bait and switch. It definitely is. It definitely is. They'll tell you to eat certain things when in actuality those certain things that they tell you to eat are specifically created for you to want more of it, and it contains the very ingredients that you're supposed to be avoiding. Peach say conspiracy theories unite. I guess we are. All right, let's see what this one says.
You have high
Oh,
cholesterol?
we did that one already. We did that one.
Cow pus and chemicals created the perfect need for a pharmacy. Like if you're trying to improve your immune system, there's nothing better than sucralose for your gut microbiome. So you're telling us the same thing that increases our immune health is also in Gatorade? This is obviously the United States of America, and you can tell. Mega corporations be making sure you get all the shitty ingredients. I always tell people to read books, but you can find books at the grocery store. It's just a slice of cake, I think. They said, quick, let's create the Gregorian calendar. It's classroom friendly, everybody. Feed this to your kids. Hey, look, Mega Corporation. This liquid death stuff, I don't understand. Flamin' Hot wasn't it? They created extra Flamin' Hot. But remember, Mega Corporation, mega ingredient list. And or just extremely hyper palatable foods like salt and oil. Remember, bottom, the top, uh-oh. Looks like market. Contains bioengineered food ingredient. Well, yeah. No duh. Here's the economic crisis, okay? So $4.99 for thin ones, which are exactly what? 371 grams. Or $4.99 for thick ones that are 530. Why would they sell us less for the same price? Huh. On sale. Definitely good for you. Don't mind if I inquire. Yeah, better than most of them. You know what the CDC has research with hot dogs? They say, like, don't consume them at all, they're cancerous. Do you ever get curious about type 1 diabetes and why other countries don't have it? As much as the United States of America, look at your casein-A1 protein versus your casein-A2 protein. I've never been to this grocery store, but there's normally lunch meats, which are also carcinogenic. Found them, obviously on sale. They'll be able to make this stuff out of sludge soon. Don't trust a stranger, but class 1 carcinogen, so this is 18%, and these are like colorectal cancers. It's the whole digestion thing. Cow pus and chemicals created the perfect need for a pharmacy.
Read your labels like we've been studying together. Read your labels, because if you got all the words on there that you cannot pronounce, you don't know the definition of it, don't get it. If you going in there and buying something, turn it around. It should only say what that product is supposed to be. For example, if you're going to buy apple juice, it should just say apples and water in the ingredients. It shouldn't say all this long list of names. And then he also mentioned let's see, how in the United States certain things are allowed here, but if you go to another country, it's not allowed. He also mentioned to you that there's a link between lunch meat and cancer. You might want to do your research, okay? She said, in the picture of the milk screens reminds me of in that picture of the milk on the screen reminds me that for years I thought I was getting plenty of vitamin D because we drink that vitamin D enriched milk, but that's not the right vitamin D. That's right. What's up? What's up? What's up, David Corey with the crop? One time for David Corey. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, David Corey. What's up, Wanda? Life with Wanda, one of my members of the channel on YouTube, as well as one of the members of the Stronger Together Forum Co-op. Welcome in, Wanda. Thank you for being here. One time for Wanda. And we do have our meeting tomorrow. We have bi-monthly meetings. If you guys are interested in learning more about the co-op, come on over to the channel and join the subscription. You have to join the Sugar Mama level, not the Sugar Baby level, so that you can have access to the meetings and find out if you would like to be a member of the Stronger Together Forum co-op. Okay? In which we created with a couple of like-minded people where we are trying to gain funding as a group so that we can distribute it amongst the members individually. Okay, so we're trying to apply for these things so that we can apply for these larger sums of money that you can apply for as a company, and then that way we can distribute it amongst our members to help us become more self-sustainable, and we use that to also help us become outreach to our communities as well. So let me see what else. That was Wanda. Peace says, I like what David Breakfast says. If you can't find the ingredient on the package on a shelf in the store, don't eat it. That's right. Yeah, break not breakfast. Yes, the processed meat is linked to cancer. We got another one video about the processed meats coming up. Just hold your horses. Hold your horses. David said vitamin D is sunlight, right? So we was taught that vitamin D gives you strong bones and healthy teeth. When in actuality, all you need to do is go outside and let the sun activate it. The sun hits your skin and converts the cholesterol to vitamin D. There you go. So when you add up, keep people inside all the time, along with cholesterol medicine, not a good recipe. Exactly. Exactly. Let's see. All right, let's go on to the next one. Let's see what they saying.
Queen. By the way, Dairy Queen, there's no dairy at the Dairy Queen. Don't eat at Dairy Queen. Don't eat at McDonald's. Don't eat at Chick-fil-A. Don't eat at Burger King. Don't eat that chemical warfare. Thank God for Robert Kennedy Jr. going to ban putting chemical warfare in our foods and medicine. Oy vey. So finally, in 2025, after the Ronald McDonald Cancer House and all these bald-headed kids having chemo and radiation because McDonald's poisoned them, Burger King poisoned them, Kellogg's poisoned them, Post cereal poisoned them, Chick-fil-A poisoned them, all these colored drinks poison the kids, and then they charge us to treat their cancer. Cancer is an industry. Quit eating poison. Welcome aboard, RFK. Welcome aboard, Donald Trump. Welcome aboard, conscientious thinking families. Get the chemical warfare out of your kids' diet. Starters, anyhow. Queen. By the way, Dairy Queen, there's no dairy at the Dairy Queen.
Uh-oh. That'll ruffle some feathers. That'll ruffle some feathers. Some of y'all love Chick-fil-A and Burger King and McDonald's and Dairy Queen. I ain't gonna lie, I go there from time to time. Did I? Oh yeah, I was gonna say, did I speak to Jamie? Jamie was the first one in here. I did speak to her. They would say, I don't want to see no video about no processed meat. Well, we about to see it. We about to see it. That man say, stop eating poison. Stop eating the poison. And the one thing that I like that he said was, they fed you the poison made you sick, and then they charge you to get yourself well from the poison that they gave you. But what he didn't mention is they charging you for a medication that's not even making you well. It's making you even more sick. Ain't that about a blimp? Wow. He said, I said that the only reason prices go up is because they realize how many people are ignorant. Excuse me. Yep. And it's a lot of us. We better wake up. We got to wake up. We got to wake up, y'all. We have got to wake up. LP, I see you over there. I see you over there on the TikTok. One time for LP, y'all. Let's see.
Eight foods that were created for war, poverty, or profits. Part 1. Number 4 will shock you. Have you ever wondered why the foods on your plate look nothing like what your grandparents ate? Today I'm breaking down the jaw-dropping truth about foods that weren't made for your health, but for war, profit, and corporate convenience. You'll never look at your grocery cart the same again. Number 1. Margarine. You may think it's just a cheap butter swap, but it was originally invented to fatten up turkeys. When that didn't work, they rebranded it for poor families. Margarine is made by bleaching, deodorizing, and chemically altering seed oils, then dyeing it yellow so it looks like butter. However, it's nothing like your grandma's churned butter. Number 2, breakfast cereal. Bland cereal was first cooked up by Dr. John Harvey Kellogg to stop people from masturbating. Yes, the goal was to reduce impure thoughts, not to nourish anyone. It was only later that cereal companies started dumping synthetic vitamins on top and pitching it as fortified for kids. A breakfast that was more about compliance than nutrition. Now let's discuss number 3, infant formula. In the 1970s, formula companies, especially Nestle, aggressively marketed to mothers in poorer countries, convincing them that formula was better than breast milk. Many mothers could not afford enough or didn't have clean water, and the babies suffered. The fallout was so bad there was a global boycott. Even today, formula companies fight against paid parent leave and breastfeeding support. More stressed moms means more formula sales. The ingredients? Corn syrup, vegetable oils, synthetic nutrients, and natural flavors. This isn't about shaming parents. It's about calling out a system designed for profit and not for the welfare of babies. Number 4, skim milk, the original food waste hack. After skimming off the cream to make butter, companies had gallons of watery waste milk left. Instead of dumping it, they sold it as low fat, pushing the anti-fat craze. Pasteurization kills off the natural enzymes and vitamins, so they add back synthetic ones. What's left? Basically, sweet water with multivitamins. Stay tuned for part 2. 8
Y'all, if you haven't noticed yet, these some greatest summer of guns. They just trying to make money off of every little thing, and they rebrand it. When one don't work out, they take it back to the lab, rebrand it, and come on back and sell it to the rest of the dummies. Excuse me, I don't mean to say dummies, but you know, the rest of the people that not using their brain. Let's see. David said, how much will they pay for good taste rather than healthy foods? Right. Miss T came in here one time for Miss T with the T. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, Miss T with the T. Y'all make sure y'all checking out Miss T Monday through Friday, 8:15 Central Standard Time on the YouTube and TikTok. Check her out. Check her out. Here she is right here, Miss T with the T. They would say that's why we fat. And if you look at it, they don't discriminate between old, young, healthy, unhealthy. Everybody can get it. Yep. Y'all better do y'all research. He said the Kellogg's family was dirty. Very much so. Fortified foods are terrible for the human body, but that's what they push. You know, when they got something to sell, they're going to rebrand it and they're going to tell us how good it is for us and how healthy it is for us. And we're going to believe it, and we're going to go out there and spend the money that they working us as hard as they can to give us. They're going to take theirs off the top and give us a little bit to go buy the poison, and then we're going to have to get that money right back to them, thinking that they're going to heal us from the poison, but in actuality, it's only making us sick. We are definitely on a hamster wheel, just running round and round and round and round in circles. Oh yeah, the amazing 80s when fat became the enemy and real food became extinct. Right. Exactly, Peach. Exactly. When we see foods in America, it shows up who's been here. Remember, they had to bring their culture. Yeah, they had to bring their culture here. They weren't fat people in the 80s, just big boned. So let's see. Let me see what y'all. Okay. Just making sure I didn't miss anybody. I'm not missing nobody. All right, let's see.
Who knows the first two laws that Hitler implemented? Hitler, Yimach Shemo v'Zichro, first two laws that Hitler implemented that not only put him in a different status than everybody else for the rest of history, but also made what's called until this day the biggest financial miracle in history. Who knows the first two laws? Before the Nuremberg laws. Before that, we're talking about years before it. Hitler first comes into power. What's the first two laws? Okay, I'll save you the time. Rule number 1. No more pornography. No more homosexuality. None of that garbage. Not allowed. Berlin, in the 30s, in the 20s, was the Sodom and Gomorrah of the day. They were the Las Vegas of the day. They were the Sodom and Gomorrah of the day. Homosexuality, pornography, all the bestiality, all the garbage of the world, that was the capital of the world. He outlawed it. You're no longer allowed, closed all the bars, all the gay clubs, all the production, which were all run by Jewish people. Unfortunately. Second rule. What's the second rule? Second rule was, you're not allowed to charge interest. No more interest. Now you would think, why? What does he care about interest? Well, because all the people that had the money, that lent the money out, were Jews. He didn't like it. So he said no more interest. Why? Because of the high interest that the Jews charged people was so high, it ruined, it destroyed the economy in Germany. They destroyed, just like they destroyed Russia a few years before that through their communism over there. Jews destroyed Russia, not Goyim. Jews destroyed. Communism is by Jews. Well, don't let anybody confuse you. You look at history, Karl Marx, all the other Reshaim, they're all Jews. Wicked, but nonetheless Jews. They destroyed Russia, and he wrote in chapter, who knows the first two laws?
Okay, that was our commercial break. That was our commercial break. We're going to save that explanation for another time since we're talking about food. But that's some food for thought, right? Yeah, we be taught one thing about, like for example, with this ongoing war thing that the United States has stuck their behinds in, that we had nothing to do with when we back in Israel versus the Palestinians. Yeah. We'll save that conversation for another day.
Breaking news, Bill Gates backed a pill now officially approved for organic produce in the U.S. Bill Gates is a maniac. He got a couple of videos talking about how he need to depopulate the earth and he's trying to get people off the planet, and he's going to do it through the food supply. Avoid any pill sticker that's on your fruits and vegetables. It has lead, it has cadmium, it has arsenic. If you know anything about arsenic, lead, cadmium, these things are poisonous to the human body. Fruits and vegetables don't need to be preserved. Once they go bad, they go bad. That's nature doing its thing. Look how they're trying to game you. It says plant-based protection, long-lasting produce on the label. This is not plant-based protection. This is from the FDA website. It's on Appeal Sciences. They call it plant-based, and partially it is because it's coming from like seed oils, but what they don't tell you is when it's processed, it's very toxic for the body. It's mercury, cadmium, lead, arsenic, palladium, heptane. They tried to say that a human will have to consume 30,000 apples in order to get 1 kilogram of heavy metals found in their system. No, that's not how that works, because heavy metals is in there, and the more you consume it, heavy metals build up in the system over time, which can lead to poisoning. So a human will consume thousands of apples, avocados, bananas, 3 times, 4 times a day you eat meals. And if you have these chemicals sprayed on all your fruits and vegetables, you will get heavy metal poisoning. You will start to break your body down and your organs down. This will happen. It's not a if or it can happen. It's a it will happen. This ain't plant-based. This is toxic. Comment detox below to learn how to detox your body naturally from these vaccinations, from these aluminum, these lead.
Welcome in, Mama Shirley. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. One time for Mama Shirley. Miss Shirley OG Gardner, y'all catch her every Thursday. She's on live every Thursday here on the YouTube. Want to get some information from one of the elders. Like me, I like listening to Miss Shirley talk and catching her replays because my elders are gone on. And so I feel like with people like Miss Shirley and T-Nog and G-Quat in our lives is allowing us to get the information and close the gap from where, we may have been lacking things. They have been pouring a whole lot of knowledge into us, and thank y'all for that. So with this appeal, like I was saying, our elders, the New Orleans Gardner, talked to us about this some years ago. She got several videos on it. When I first came on YouTube, I want to say within months of being on YouTube and becoming a subscriber on her channel, she talked about appeal and tried to warn us about this. And so in this particular video, he is telling you that you can get heavy metal poisoning from eating these foods that have been sprayed with appeal. David said, you ain't never bothered them people. I know, right? Y'all crazy. So, and y'all know we overeat. So they probably they're saying that you're not gonna get poisoning from it. It's just a small amount. But the American diet, Americans overeat. We don't eat the regular serving size. We eat enough for 4 and 5 people in one sitting, right? So in one sitting, and you're eating this several times a day throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, you definitely build up poison. So guys, please pay attention. Yes, David is amen to say yes, true statement. They mean a lot. Y'all definitely mean a lot to us. Oh, anytime, Mama Shirley, anytime. I did not mention Uncle Bamit. He does the OG's night on his channel with him and J3, and he had my Renaissance grandma up there a couple times, and they pour out knowledge, and Aunt Fran and Georgia Peachnut, just to name a few of those precious jewels in our community. We appreciate y'all. Keep doing what y'all doing, because y'all are helping us to close that gap and keep our next generation carrying the torch to do better and take us further than where we are right now. All right, so let's see what this says.
And what's the most common cause for death?
Blood clots. We're seeing loads of people with unnatural blood clots, like white calamari inside them. The coroners won't talk about it. They just don't want to talk about it
And what do you think they are?
I think it's a result of COVID vaccines. And it's been recommended by people far cleverer than me, and I've been shouting about it for years, but people just don't seem to want to acknowledge it. Mostly people like the coroners, most doctors, government ministers, they won't talk about it. They don't want to know. I've even been to the police station. They don't want to know. They won't even talk to me about it.
And what do these clots look like?
I've got some here if you want to see them. Yes.
Yeah, go for it. Wow. So, all of these sort of calamari-looking clots, you've taken them out of people's circulation system.
I've never ever seen, I mean, I worked for the coroner for 7 years. I've never seen anything like it in anyone before. He's done 20 odd years. He's never seen anything like it before. And we're finding this now constantly inside people that have all been COVID vaccinated. So that's what we're seeing. So I reached out to my local coroner and kind of said, look, I'm really concerned. You know, we've got a young lad of 30 in. We've pulled out about half a pound of this crap out of him. I know you've post-mortemed him. What is it? You know, what is it? We've never seen it before. Do you need samples? Have you got samples? How can we help? You know, no reply at all, firstly, by the email. And I emailed because I wanted a paper trail, because I knew then what was happening. I took a phone call about 4 days later. It was from one of the girls in the office who doesn't work with bodies. They're in the office. And she said, well, we spoke to the pathologist. He said, don't worry. You can dispose of them. It's perfectly natural. It grows post-mortem. So what that means is basically they're saying that when you die, rubber grows throughout your arteries all of a sudden. And it's perfectly normal. Well, I can tell you, having done this job for 18 years, 7 years picking up bits out the road, that isn't normal. That isn't normal. And it's only, and every one of these people was COVID vaccinated. How do I know? Because I meet the family at the point of arrangement and I ask them, I say, was mum COVID vaccinated? And they say yes. And they tell me. And because the government made such a big thing about you must be vaccinated if you don't.
Okay, I'm going to stop the video of part of it. Certain words and things that I'm noticing that they're saying in these videos are not prohibited on certain platforms. Like I just noticed that on TikTok. They have closed the live down, saying this is misinformation. So, but we still up and rolling over here on the YouTube and Facebook. She says you will overeat on vacation, so you double up, definitely double up on the heavy metal poisons. Crooked P says heavy metals are hard to get out of your life. It can be done, but it ain't easy. Yep. Definitely can be done. Yes, the OGs are giving out much to think about and learn. Definitely. She said, thank goodness I dodged that vax. You and me too. Yep, it don't like us talking the truth. It don't. They call it misinformation. The truth is called misinformation, honey. That's what they say. Well, we gonna keep it going on. But we've heard enough on that video to see that this guy is seeing in real time what is going on with people that have actually received the jab, right? It's causing fatal effects. This live right now is misinformation. No, it is right. They say that's what they saying. That this live is misinformation. They've never wanted you to know what they did. Scare tactic. Yep. That's exactly what it is. All right, let's see what they said about let me see what this one was. I don't remember what this one was. Let me see what this one was. I don't remember.
You see, the problem is
this Israel is not the one God is talking about.
The Israel in the Middle East, the state of.
Oh wait, that's religion. We'll talk about that another day. Let's do that. Go.
All right. So here's what you want to look for. Well, here's what you make sure you don't want to see on your apple. When you have a 4 there, that means it's covered and coated in pesticides, and it's covered with a wax. So every time you eat an apple, you're eating a layer of wax and plastic that's around the apple. Only get your food that starts with a 9, not a 4.
We already know that, right?
All right. So
Just a reminder.
here's what you want to look for. Well, here's what you make sure you don't want to see on your apple. When you have a 4,
Foods that start with a 9. All right.
Vegetable oil is highly toxic, and anyone who advises people to eat vegetable oils is also giving misinformation.
Vegetable oils belong in the engines of cars, not in your
This is the
food.
video I was looking for earlier.
These are not real food products. These are products made in factories. These are products that require heat and chemicals and high pressure to extract what little oil there is.
The heat and chemicals used in the manufacturing process oxidizes these delicate seed oils. When you eat oxidized vegetable oils like soy, canola, corn, and safflower or sunflower, they create free radicals throughout your body that are highly inflammatory and known to cause heart disease and cancer.
And then they're used by restaurants in the most carcinogenic way possible. They heat them, reheat them, cool them off, heat them again, and use them for a week. So switching to vegetable oils or seed oils was probably a terrible idea in the first place.
One researcher from the University of Minnesota went to a variety of fast food restaurants in her neighborhood and purchased French fries, and then took them back to her lab for testing. She found numerous compounds of toxic aldehydes in the fries. Aldehydes are known to cause gene mutation, alter RNA and DNA, and trigger massive inflammation in the body.
I tell my clients to avoid the industrial seed oils as much as possible.
Vegetable oil is highly toxic, and anyone who advises people to eat vegetable oils is also giving misinformation.
So this is the video I was telling y'all about. I was looking for earlier that tells you that these oils was originally made for something else, for oil for machineries and vehicles, and then what we did, well, not what we, but what they did, they rebranded them, and now selling them to you. All right, let's keep going.
Show them the thimerosal ball, which we keep in a metal container because we're a little afraid of it, and it's a very fine powder.
This is thimerosal, which is labeled very toxic, has cumulative effects, can cause damage to the kidneys, to the respiratory system, skin, to the nervous system. Specifically warns on here that it can cause reproductive and developmental toxicity, meaning that it can cause things like autism and other neurodevelopmental disorders. This is immensely toxic stuff.
And it's in vaccine.
And this is what's in the vaccine. It's important to realize we're talking about a whole range of products. Vaccines are a big one because, of course, you're directly injecting it. For example, this is tetanus vaccine. This one expires, it's a little outdated now, in 2007. And here's the thimerosal. 1 to 10,000 is a preservative. Perhaps the biggest one in the U.S., at least, that's for exposure to mercury is the influenza vaccine. Influenza vaccine is now recommended for all pregnant women, all infants, all children on a yearly basis. You're supposed to
have last year's influenza? Understand that thimerosal is not added at the end. It's not like, well, that factory next year can make thimerosal free. Thimerosal, you either have to have a thimerosal free factory or you have to not have one. They add thimerosal at each step because the factory is not clean and not sterile. So you either have to have an expensive sterile factory where you don't need thimerosal, or you have to have one that produces thimerosal. It's going to need thimerosal or something the whole time. It needs to be stopped.
This is the influenza vaccine from Adventist Pasteur, their flu zone. Thimerosal, 25 micrograms of mercury per dose.
I'd like to point out that a lot of people didn't know, and I'm one of them. I've given 2,000 RhoGAM shots. I've been in vaccines for 35 years. I didn't know that RhoGAM had thimerosal in it. So I think a lot of the doctors were unaware. They were unaware that even the word thimerosal meant mercury.
All right, so guys, y'all see, like Peach mentioned earlier, it's not some of the health care workers. They honestly don't know that they are poisoning people with the practice that they are doing. They just believe what they are told, and with some of these vaccines, um, they're actually poisoning you with metals. Hey, Lynette, I didn't speak to you. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. One time for Lynette. Peach says healthy people are a threat to the system. They definitely are. Vegetable oil is great as a lamp oil and a fire starter, right? David says soy was made for war. Yep, and so was Roundup and all these other things, um, pesticides and herbicides, but they have rebranded them. A lot of stuff have been rebranded. All that fried fish and chicken, in the vegetable oil, we've been eating it. Eating engine oil. You might as well go and change your oil. Just go ahead and keep that oil, put it in the bottle, and fry you some chicken up in it, because that's what we've been eating. Why do you think that happened, David? Yep. And we think the system is correct and for us. Man, if you think it, David say you fell and bumped your head. I'm getting I'm pissed on behalf of it. Right. And that's why we share this information, so that you would know. You have to be your own advocate. You have to grow your own stuff. You can't trust people to be honest enough and do it for you. That's the purpose of these lives, is to get you to see that these companies do not have your best interests at heart at all. And it doesn't matter if you're a baby, if you're not, it doesn't matter.
Can you give me an example of a food that's a vaccine?
You recognize? Yes. University of California, Riverside has already perfected the ability to put human vaccines into our lettuce right now. Also, tomatoes has the ability to do that also for UC Berkeley. And then Big Tobacco, RJ Reynolds and stuff, has perfected the ability to put a human vaccine into tobacco products.
Chairman Clements? And is that even legal to do in the state of Tennessee, to sell those with a vaccine in them? You recognize?
Well, I'm not arguing that point. What I'm saying is there is no law deeming those that when you go into a grocery store, you should know as a consumer, this head of lettuce is a head of lettuce. The head of lettuce right next to it could contain a vaccine in it. All we're saying is if it does have the vaccine in it, make sure it's listed as a pharmaceutical so people can get the proper dosage.
You recognize? Thank you. Well, my question is right now, can you walk into a grocery store and there be a head of lettuce for sale that has a vaccine in it? I don't think that's allowed under state law presently. And if it is, and you have to list it as a pharmaceutical, are we going to then have Walgreens pharmacists with a refrigerated section? I mean, how's this going to play out?
You recognize? Thank you. This is more of a consumer protection bill right here, is to make sure that if you're going in to buy tomatoes and there's a polio vaccine in there, that you are aware of what you're buying has a polio vaccine. The problem you have is if it's not treated as a pharmaceutical, being the size and difference between you and me, how many tomatoes do I have to eat to get the proper dosage versus how many tomatoes that you have to eat? And if you eat too many, do you get a overdose? If you eat too less, like we had in the cattle industry with Aeromycin, we weren't dosing our cattle properly, and the horn flies were developing an immunity to it. If we don't have the proper dosage of a vaccine, it could lead to the efficacy of that drug not work anymore.
Can you give me an example of a food that's a vaccine?
Okay, so in this video, they telling you that the foods are in the store, and this man is not arguing the point that, you know, that the food is not there and it shouldn't be there. What he is trying to come up with is a bill to help people know that this food that you buy, that it does have a vaccine in it, that you're not eating too much of it and getting overdosed on the vaccine, is what they saying. And they don't want it to be to the point to where if you get an overdose, that it makes the vaccine ineffective. Never mind the fact that it it's not even legal for it to be in the food anyway. He just avoided that whole question. He said he just trying to make sure that you know it's in there and you don't overdose on it. David said, I'm gonna fry my fish next time in windshield wiper fluid. No, David. He said it's probably better. Look, we probably have already. Yep, they put vaccine in the produce. It's definitely in there. Like Pregu, that's the ones that say it's in there. She said, I do know, Sugar, but it's so hard to share this info. They shadow block it. Yep, they definitely do. Definitely do. We wouldn't take the jab, so they start putting it in your food. Yep, putting it in the food. Most don't know or either don't care. You are so right. People are too sick, exhausted, and overwhelmed. It's too much to take in when in that state. Yep, I'm going to boil my fish. Yep, just like they would say, stop eating at the grocery store, stop eating these fast foods, just grow it your own. Grow it your own. Grow your own. Or if you can't grow your own, support somebody that is growing their own and go over there and spend your money with them and barter with them. That's all it is we looking for an easy way out. And it seems easy on the surface, but after it all boils down to it, it's an expensive fix. All right, here go y'all lunch meat. So I'm going to read to y'all just in case you can't see that it says about this post. It says, in the industrial process of making deli meats like bologna, salami, and turkey slices, various cuts of meats, it often includes scraps, fat, and possibly even organs in it. These scraps are mechanically blended together with salt, preservatives like sodium nitrate, sugar, artificial flavorings, and binders, such as modified food starch. This mixture is emulsified in large industrial machines into a pink paste, then extruded into castings, like or mold, like the plastic covers, cooked and finally sliced and packaged for sale. These highly processed meats are unhealthy due to their high sodium content, artificial additives, and preservatives, which have been linked to increased risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, and certain cancers, especially colorectal cancer, when consumed regularly. So, there go your lunch meat. I think that may have been the last video. Oh, I got one about non-stick pans. Okay. Oh, there go the thing. Okay, I got 2 more videos and then we'll be done. The last video will be one about the cholesterol.
There is a man-made chemical. It was invented during the Manhattan Project. It repelled the elements, especially water.
Hey,
So they
Zeta
used
Rose,
it to make the
thank you for
first
coming
ever
in.
waterproof coating for tanks. It was indestructible. Then some companies thought, hey, why just a battlefield? Why not bring this chemical into American home? DuPont was one of those companies. So they took this chemical, PFOA, they renamed it C8, and they made their own impenetrable coating, but not for tanks, for pans. They called it Teflon. From the start, something wasn't right. The men and workers who made Teflon were coming down with nausea, fevers. DuPont wanted to know why. So they laced cigarettes with Teflon. They told a group of the workers, hey, smoke these. DuPonters did as they were told. Almost all those men were hospitalized. That's 1962. 1 year after Teflon launched, and already DuPont knew. The dust, they just sent right up the smokestacks, released into the air. The sludge, tossed it into the Ohio, or packed it into drums and chucked it into the Chesapeake. But they weren't the only ones covering their tracks. 3M, who pioneered these chemicals for Scotchgard, they were testing them on monkeys. Most of the monkeys died. It wasn't like DuPont didn't know that, because they were doing their own tests on rats. Watch the organs balloon. Now the rats are getting cancers. Tested them on pregnant rats and watched them give birth to pups with deformed eyes. So they yanked all the young women off the Teflon line and never told them why. There is a man-made chemical. It was invented during the Manhattan Project. It repelled the elements, especially water. So they used it to make the first ever waterproof coating for tanks. It was indestructible. Then some companies thought, hey, why just a battlefield? Why not bring this chemical into American home? DuPont was one of those companies. So they took this chemical, PFOA, they renamed it C8, and they made their own impenetrable coating, but not for tanks, for pans. They called it Teflon. From the start, something wasn't right. The men and workers who made Teflon were coming down with nausea, fevers. DuPont wanted to know why. So they laced cigarettes with Teflon. They told a group of the workers, hey, smoke these. DuPonters did as they were told. Almost all those men were hospitalized. That's 1962. 1 year after Teflon launched, and already DuPont knew. The dust, they just sent right up the smokestacks, released into the air. The sludge, tossed it into the Ohio, or packed it into drums and chucked it into the Chesapeake. But they weren't the only ones covering their tracks. 3M, who pioneered these chemicals for Scotchgard, they were testing them on monkeys. Most of the monkeys died. It wasn't like DuPont didn't know that, because they were doing their own tests on rats. Watch the organs balloon. Now the rats are getting cancers. Tested them on pregnant rats and watched them give birth to pups with deformed eyes. So they yanked all the young women off the Teflon line and never told them why. There is a man-made chemical.
I'm gonna find this movie and we can watch it all together. A documentary or whatever it is, we'll watch it all together. But how diabolical is that? The chemical that they made initially was for war, right? And they rebranded it and sold it as food. And they knew before they put it out to the public that it caused problems because it was causing problems with their workers. But they didn't stop. They still rebranded it and sold it to people. Very diabolical. Let's see. Zeta Rose had came in. Let me see. She said she was coming in. One time for Zeta Rose. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. She said, David said, can he barter some sour Kool-Aid for a tea cake? You sure can. He said, if you can't grow your own food, make friends with a gardener. Definitely make friends with a gardener. Barter, Peach, not buy. He said he barter, Peach, he don't, because he broke. That's why I advocate for the village life. That would be amazing. Build your community. That is not a test. Definitely. David say, how do we know what's in pressed ham? P say cancer is in there. And pink slime. That is not food. David say, what is in bologna? A bologna? What is it made of? Y'all don't want to know. He said, y'all don't want to know. Some of them don't want to know. He said, wait, these mofos selling bags of cancer? Yep. The real dope dealers. He said, yes, they are, but don't worry. They also sell the cure. That's funny, Peach. Yep. And the cure in quotations. Lynette says, Black's Tropical Homestead showed how to make your own lunch meat. It's so easy. Think of the good, healthy ingredients when you make your own. So you guys check out Black's Tropical Homestead if you want to still hang on to having that luncheon meat. They got a video showing you how to make your own. And some, they would say, and some humans, the real dope dealers, and some humans. DuPont, another fabulous family, right? If they removed all the women, why? Because they were next. Yep. Another bad, shut your mouth. Another bad family. See, America should be taught this in schools. Definitely. And since we know that they're not teaching it in schools, now it's on the responsibility of the parents to teach your kids the truth. Don't let them go through this life blindly, not knowing. Not knowing. So you can't teach this to people, especially in the Rockefeller school system. It's pretty effing yes. Very diabolical. Very diabolical. All right, y'all. We got one more video. Here's the last one. And this is what the video I was telling you guys too about the cholesterol drugs.
I want to talk about some of the most popular drugs that are sold out there, statin drugs, for lowering cholesterol. A number of them have been pulled off the market after being on a couple of years and then being found out that they are dangerous. What's your thought on the whole premise of those kinds of drugs?
It's mass murder. It always leads to hardening of the liver. It always cuts off at least 20 years of your lifespan. Your brain is made from cholesterol. A statin drug is a cholesterol lowering drug. So if you want to have a brain the size of a marble, just keep on taking them. You do not die of too much cholesterol, you die of not enough. And I will say this one more time, you do not die of too much cholesterol. There is no such thing as too much cholesterol. You die only from not enough. In a burn unit in hospitals, we use 20 to 28 hard-boiled eggs a day in a burn victim because we know only cholesterol builds healthy cells. Every single cell in your system, 87% of the new cell is built from cholesterol. Where does this cholesterol come from? See, where they came up with it, they just made up the number of 250. They just made it up. There's no science, no nothing. They tested a couple of people living in a trailer park from trash that they eat and kind of like came up with the average is kind of like 250 of combined cholesterol and made this, that's what everybody should have. It's completely artificially made up. I have patients that have cholesterol of 600. They're the healthiest people, never been sick. Statin drugs are the most dangerous, useless drugs ever invented. And please remember, your brain is built on cholesterol. 92 to 99% of the brain is built from cholesterol. The brain shrinks first. With every statin drug, you start shrinking your brain. And this is what people need to understand.
I want to talk about some of the most popular drugs that are sold out there, statin drugs, for lowering cholesterol.
And I'm going to tell you about that. I was on cholesterol medication because they told me my cholesterol was high. And yes, the medication did lower my cholesterol, right? But you just heard the man say it's not a problem, a medical problem for you to have a low cholesterol. That's actually what you want is for your cholesterol to be high. You want it, if it gets low, then it causes your brain to shrink. And what happens when your brain shrink? That means you're losing things, right? So there's no such thing as having high cholesterol. Those drugs actually lowers it to the point to where it causes your brain to shrink. And they probably are labeling those people as having Alzheimer's. I'm pretty sure. So you heard it. You heard it. Does anyone else remember glass baby bottles? I remember them. I remember glass baby bottles. Oh my God, thank goodness someone said the truth about deadly statins. Somebody was telling me, I think Tampa had mentioned something earlier, maybe about a year ago, when they put her on it and her mama told her to stop taking. I was like, girl, you better take your medicine. But I did not know the reasoning why her mom was telling her not to take it. But now we know. I've been saying cholesterol is a scam for years. Yeah, dementia. That's what it's causing. Those cholesterol drugs are causing dementia. I do preach everything was made of glass. We need to go back to glass. No more plastic. Yes, definitely need to go back. We need to go back. We need to go back. So y'all, that's what I have for y'all today. I hope you guys enjoyed the information. Do you really know what you're eating? And hopefully that opened up your minds and hearts to start thinking a little bit different and trying to do things a little bit different so you can live a healthier life, and start taking more accountability and stop allowing somebody else to determine your quality of life. Because if you don't, you can see that they are poisoning you. Anytime, Peach. You are so welcome. You are more than welcome. What's up, Mike? He said, I was in the bushes. Well, thank you for being here in the bushes. I appreciate you. One time for Mike. You are so welcome. So welcome. Y'all are so welcome. Well, y'all enjoy the rest of your Saturday. If Those of you who are members of the Stronger Together Forum Co-op, I will see you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I may come on and do a sugar shack tonight. I'm gonna go take me a nap real quick, and then when I get up, we'll probably vibe a little bit later on tonight. It'll be late tonight, like after 9, after 8, something like that. But enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday. Share the information. Shout it out to the mountaintop so that people will know. And I will see y'all in these social media streets. Peace, love, and blessings, everybody.